I'm here with five-time NFR qualifier Dugan Kelly and one of my partners that I made the finals with myself in '01 and '02. Good friends, and so how's it to be back at the NFR this year?
Feels really good. At the beginning of the year I didn't dream this would all happen, but things went my way and I worked hard and it paid off.
Yes, you did. You told me you were going to make the finals this year.
Yeah, well, I didn't want that cocky.
You would have come out here if you didn't think you was going to make the NFR.
No, but I'll tell you what, it was a little nerve-wracking. I bought a little place out here and I wasn't making it. It was like, what am I doing?
I was thinking about healing in the middle of the year, and I think I made Roy nervous thinking I was going to lose my place trying to heal for a living.
Yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking. It's a roller coaster ride, this rodeo. You know, when I went to Odessa the first year, you know, I hadn't been to Odessa in 7 years. And I'm watching slack, and I'm probably 50th out, and I'm watching these guys. I'm like, man, these guys can rope. I'm like a fan. I'm like, whoa, did you see that spin? You know, like, wait a minute, I'm in it. I got to pay attention here. And I thought, man, what am I doing here? And I prayed. I was praying. I was so nervous. And I'm praying. I'm like, Lord, please show me a sign. Like, please. I mean, am I supposed to be here? Because if not, I could go home because these guys are up unbelievable. And I'm just nervous as can be, and I back in the box, and as soon as I get in the box, I just relax. Just everything just, oh, it's home, you know,
yeah.
It's where I've been before. We end up winning the first go-around. I'm like, okay, that's a good enough sign for me. I can stay out here. And
slap me in the face. I'm going to go.
Yeah, I get to go, you know, so here we are, and ended up roping with Turtle Pal, and it's been a fun year, and it's been a relaxing year. It's been a different outlook for me. You know, I quit drinking in January, and I've drank more water this year than I ever have my whole life, and eating healthy, and good things have been coming. My attitude's a lot better, and it's a whole lot funner, and I'm in a different place than I was before, and it sure has paid off. Didn't want to be 14th, I want to be 4th, but hey, there's always room for next year.
I'd like to be 14th.
Yeah, and I'm happy with it. I'm real happy with it, but in this business, you're never happy.
I know.
The 16th guy wants to be 15th, the 15th guy wants to be 10th, and the 10th guy wants to be 5th, and the 5th guy wants to be 1st. And the first guy wants a bigger lead. Yeah. You're never happy in this business.
I know.
You know,
what keeps you going.
All you want is one good horse. When you get him, you want 2. And when you got 2, you want 5. And it just never ends. A little bit of greed.
Vicious cycle.
It's a vicious cycle. So, yeah, it's been fun. It's good to be back here. I took 7 years off, which I rodeoed for 8 years before that. So it was quite a break, but it was a good break for me.
So now, we've talked about it before, but tell me a little bit about your roping. I roped with you back in '01, '02. I know the style of roping you had back then. When you took time off, you said that you really wanted to work on some stuff on your roping, get a little more consistent, I guess, and more different loops, I guess. Tell me a little bit about that and what you were working on and kind of what you were thinking while you were...
You know, when I was younger, you know, of course, when you're young, you just want to be fast. And I had a style that was fast, but it was not 100% consistent, especially when you've got fresher steers or headers reaching and where the, you know, if the steer doesn't take it right there, you're pretty much done. So I've gotten a style where I went home and just worked on catching and just worked on having my horse running in there freer and giving me an extra shot if I need it, and which put me a little bit closer to the steer to where my loops are more standing up versus out in front of me where they're more flatter. So it's changed my loops and it's made my loops better and more consistent, and
a lot more time to dally.
A lot more time to dally, and I'm not trying to beat my horse, and my horses don't stop quite as hard as they used to, and it's just made it more consistent for me, and the times have gotten so much faster to where the headers are getting them on them faster, and the steers are a little smaller, and they hop faster, and they're moving faster, so you need to have a little more of a forgiving style than before when the steers were bigger, where they couldn't quite get away from you, where these smaller steers, they can get away from you when they get it on them now. So I've changed a lot, and I've changed my horses and myself and my attitude and my business since, so to say. So everything has evolved in my life. It's taken me 7 years to get back here. I wanted to be back here 5 years ago, but took me a little bit longer.
So were you having a hard time remembering that around Ellensburg, right in there during the year when you were down in the dumps over there at Bucky's house, and
Yeah, you know,
gallops over, and
yeah.
oh my gosh.
No, like I mean, I forgot that I've taken, as far as I'm concerned, I didn't take a day off.
Right.
You know, I've never stopped roping, you know, but when I quit rodeoing, I didn't go to rodeo for 2 years.
Well, I just meant the mental aspect of when you were when you didn't do good at Puyallup and everybody's catching you and you're in a bind, and
you know,
you're talking about the mental aspect and how you change your mental attitude and your mental aspect, and then all of a sudden it just goes.
oh yeah, you know, it's emotions. You know, this is an emotional sport. I love it. You know, I wouldn't be back if I didn't love it. You know, I'm passionate about it, and it's what I dream about doing. It's what I think about doing, and you know, I don't want to be out here to be second best,
Right.
and nobody is. So defeat is the hardest thing to take.
Right.
Winning's easy.
Right.
Everybody can take winning. Some people don't take that very good.
Right.
They take it to the next level, you know. But you know, losing's hard to take. That's something that we all need to work on. We all can get better at, and. You know, just like a Puyallup, you know, I stepped by the steer a little bit, had to take an extra swing, and when we caught him, we were 11-6 or 11-5 on 2, and 11-4 was the cut. And then they come back and win the whole thing on a leg.
Right.
You know, so I mean, it's frustrating when,
Right.
you know, you make a mistake, but you still catch the steer, and hey, sorry, you guys are too slow.
Right.
You know, so I mean, when I was younger, I would have threw it over my horse's ears, and there was a 50-50 chance I'd have caught him. But if I would have caught him, I'd have been fast enough. So I mean, there's, you know, live and die by the sword. So I gotta live and die by consistency, and it didn't work out.
Well, I think that's one thing that people, normal, everyday team ropers struggle with, and not, I mean, me, it don't matter who it is, everybody struggles with the fact that when things get a little bit in a jam and you're behind and you're pressing and whatever, then it's hard to slow down and remember, hey, I really love to do this sport, and I'm going to just relax and go enjoy it. And then it seems like when you relax and you enjoy it, everything comes back to you.
Yeah.
When you're pressing and you're in a bind, things just kind of keep running away from you. You just cannot get where you need to be. And so y'all did a good job of coming back around with that. Now take me through the last week. You were down. Well, you were a little bit behind, weren't you? Right, going into the last couple of weeks, or
Well,
were you 15th or 16th?
Well, the last 2 weeks. I mean, the last month.
I know it changed a lot.
It just changed every week. It changed every day. It changed. You know, the second to last week. You know, we went to Amarillo and we didn't do no good. Went to Albuquerque. We didn't do no good. And Rich and Ty, they were winning second, I think, at Albuquerque, and they jumped ahead of us. And Nick and Colin did good, and they jumped ahead of us
At Amarillo.
at Amarillo. So I was 16th, I believe, and we have El Paso left. We win El Paso,
Right.
jump right back ahead of them.
Right.
Then the new week starts. We had a barrier on the first one. I only got one rodeo left that I can count, but we're going to 7 rodeos, and Turtle's $1,200 behind Nick, and basically it was just between them coming into the last week, and we just went to every rodeo that we could get to, and just went to catching steers, and it went to paying off. Because, like I told Turtle at the beginning of the week, I said, you know, you've got more rodeos than them guys, and we just go and place. They can't stop us.
Right.
You know, as long as we don't beat ourselves and miss or break the barrier, rope a leg. You know, if we do that, they can get us. But if we can just go place at 5 or 6 out of 7, they can't touch you. And me, on the other hand, I'm gonna need a little bit of luck.
I need you to catch a bunch of steers so you're ready when you get to that last
Especially
one.
when you get to that last one, we really need you to catch
I
that
need
one.
you to be confident when you get there.
Yeah, I don't think, and it is nerve-wracking, you know, that it counted for Turtle, but it doesn't count for me, you know,
Right.
so I'm like, man, I can't mess up. I want my partner to be there, so it was nerve-wracking, and knowing at the end of the week, it's going to turn around, it's going to be all on him,
Yeah.
and he knew it, and I'm trying to put Turtle in a situation to where he's in coming into the last year, so at least he's got that pressure off of him.
You've been in that situation before trying to help somebody get there before, though, because I called you up about 3 years ago,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey, you ain't even been rodeoing, hey, I need your help.
Yeah, Dave calls me, and I'm literally on a roof remodeling a house with a friend of mine who's a contractor, and he calls me and he says, hey, I need some help. That last week, I'm like, Dave, I don't even have my card bought. Yeah, but I need you. I'm like, well, okay, well, man, my horse is green. Yeah, but I still need you. I'm like, can't you find somebody else that's doing this for
I need
a
somebody who knows what they're doing out
And
here.
I'm like, well, I'll do it. I'm not saying I won't do it, but if you can find anybody in the same situation, I don't really want that pressure on me. Oh, I'm gonna put you down. So I'm
And healed every one of them by 2 feet.
Yeah, so I've been in that situation for some reason. Like I told Turtle, we're always seem to be in that situation down there at the bottom, and bottom feeders, I guess. But you know, that time of year, it's stressful, but it's fun when you do it. There's not a better feeling. You know, if we'd have had the finals made a month ago, it wouldn't have been near as fun.
Right.
You know, but not knowing.
It might have been funner, but not as interesting.
Yeah, definitely it would have been, I don't know, it'd been funner either way, but it's just a rush every steer, and every steer matters, you know. It's like being high team back at a big roping every day, because that's what it is. You know, you catch this steer, you still got a chance, you know, that's all it's about, is just keep giving yourself a chance.
Well, the neat thing is that really and truly, that's the way every day of the rodeo season is. If you do that from the start of the year, because really and truly, every steer, they're going to pay you if you make a good run.
Yeah.
They're going to pay you if you do your job. So if a guy, just like we talked about earlier, if you go and make your run over and over and over and over, they're going to pay you day in, day out. And maybe you make a mistake here and there, but you don't beat yourself, they beat you, you can live with it. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you keep doing that, you're going to have success. Yeah. And so that, to me, that's what y'all did the last week or two or whatever, or basically last week. Y'all just started catching steers, making you run over and over and over, and I mean, and then it got easy.
Yeah.
And so, you know, for people out there that don't know what's in the middle of the rodeo world and don't know how it is to be in that situation or whatever it is, it's always easy looking from the couch, looking on and saying, "Well, you should have caught that one. You shouldn't have run a barrier there." I mean, boy, how stupid was that?
Take one more swing.
You know, but if a guy will step back from the whole being in the situation, it really is kind of that simple. If you'll let it be, and just go catch steers and not put yourself in panic.
It's confidence. Everything's confidence. You know, when you've got confidence in your heading or your heeling or your run as a team, when you get that confidence, you can back off and just go do your deal. You're gonna win because you're both gonna rope aggressive. You're both winners. You're both trying your best, and when you get that confidence, then it's easy just to go catch it, and you're gonna win. And you're not trying to win first, but you might end up winning it just by
According to what you draw.
Yeah.
And that's what I tell people is that if you'll change your focus and get it off of winning and get it on just making the run, then the winning takes care of itself. And that's, you know, it doesn't matter what level you're at, that's the case. Now, a little bit on your horse deal, you were having a little bit of struggles with your horses there and whatever, and you started changing some stuff, and looked like things really come together for you. From what I was seeing, I mean, that last 2 weeks, a guy could not have healed, which you healed good all year, but the last 2 weeks to watch you was like, wow. I mean, it was phenomenal to watch your healing, your horses, everything come together, and you just, I mean, 2 or 3 days you fixed them by doing just a few little drills, and kind of go through a little bit of what you went through on that for people that maybe struggle with their horses, or kind of how you went about that.
Well, you know, I started the year off with 2 horses that are real phenomenal horses, but both of them green to the rodeo scene at this level and at this pace, and they both did an outstanding job, and I kind of juggled between them, but I used a horse that I got from Tucker Robinson Moore, and you know, he worked great at the beginning of the year, and as we press on and we're trying to win and we're putting the heat on them and we're asking them to do things faster, they start to get habits and make mistakes, and it becomes a habit just like we do. You know, we're trying to win, pretty soon we're leaning, pretty soon we're doing things that we don't realize that we're doing, and I was catching, so I was content with it. You know, like, well, you know, he might be kind of fading down the arena, and he's not really taking it jerk very good. He wasn't very strong on the end of the rope. And I thought, you know, I'm not going to change anything right now because I'm catching. I'm content with that. And that was a mistake. You know, I was costing the team, you know, tenths of seconds every single steer that we roped. And I was thinking, well, I'm catching, so that's good. But, you know, in this business, tenths of seconds is the difference between second and fifth.
Right.
You know, so I cost us a lot of money throughout the year, as far as I'm concerned, looking at myself. And you helped me a lot over there at Lonnie's. We pulled the sled around, and I got my horse to keep his hip underneath himself, and got him to take a jerk better, and got him to rate the steer going down the arena, and we pulled that heel-matic around for 3 days, and we slowed it down and fixed a lot of the mistakes that he had been making, which is part of the reason why at Gallup he faded by, was because he wasn't raking the steer going down the arena. So I stepped by, and then he's coming over the top of himself, and he wasn't underneath himself to make the corner. And those are the mistakes that's just, they progressively get a little bit worse as you don't fix it. As the horses, you know. And then I get to lean in out because he's going by. I get to lean in outside, and then I get to compensate, and I'm making things worse. But I was catching, and I was scared to change anything, because when you're catching, you're scared to change because you're like, it's working.
But then you're getting down to the end of the year, so you're needing to. You don't need to just break things totally.
You know. So we worked on that for 3 days. We pulled that sled around, and we got him staying underneath himself, and we got him taking a jerk better, and we got him raking the helomatic, and we pulled that helomatic around for 3 days. I did not rub one steer on him. I run out of the box, I rubbed the sled on him, and I did not run one steer. I took him straight to the rodeo. The first rodeo at Amarillo, he runs out there, he rakes the steer, which he had not done all year. And he put me in a position to when that steer hit, I heeled him, and it come tight faster, and I've come tight all year.
And I mean heeled the steer.
And I mean just a world of difference in 3 days of roping the helomatic. And you would think that you would have to rope the helomatic and then go rope steers, and then just kind of teach the horse what you've been teaching him on the helomatic. Now you got to do it on steers, and then you can go compete. And that wasn't the case. And you know, of course, I'm riding horses that are pretty savvy horses. They're smart. They're athletic. Otherwise, we wouldn't be riding them. But he went straight from the helomatic straight to full court press competition, and everything that I worked on, he absorbed it. He worked great, and it made me better. And I was working on me not leaning. I was working on my horses not drifting down the arena with their ass fading down the arena, and it came tight fast, and it made a world of difference. And I believe that's what helped me the last 2 weeks, was just, bam, getting tight, getting fast, and it's helped me, and it's helped me get better, and it's going to help me in the future, you know, as far as keeping my horses working. If I'd have done that in June, you know, maybe I wouldn't have been in this situation of being 14. Maybe I would have been, you know.
Never know, but it's good. But it's good that you get stuff figured out. And sometimes guys got to slow down, and it's hard to see that in the middle of it. Sometimes guys got to slow down and just go back to basics on us and our horse, and get everything just settled down a little more, and back to the basics and the fundamentals, and then all of a sudden everything comes right back together, and keep you from fighting your head. Seems like. So.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't do it slow, you're definitely not going to be doing it right fast.
Right.
So it's good to slow it down and make sure you're doing things right, and get that repetition in your horses and in your body, your muscle memory, everything, to doing it correct, and then speed it up, and then bring it back down and slow it back down, and just reassure that you're doing everything right. And I think that's what makes everybody better. Just pressing on and always trying to make yourself better, because we all can. And it's just good to hang out with people like you and other guys that make you better, you know, and can see things that
even if they make you mad a little
they
bit.
make you mad. You might make you bow up, but that might be just me and you. But
that love-hate
relationship. Everybody. I get mad first, listen later, and then I was like, well, he's right. I hate it when he's right. Maybe I should tell him he's right. Once in a million, he's right.
Well, hopefully, I look forward to seeing you at the finals. I know y'all are going to do really good. It's anybody game when you get there. You're going in 14th.
Got nothing to lose.
Nick and Colin won it from down at the bottom a few years ago. I don't know where Turtle was last year when he won the world.
He was 13th.
Down there, so.
Nick and Colin were 13th. I was kind of shooting for 13th.
Anybody's game. Yeah, well, you can set a new record and come in from one down.
Yeah.
So look forward to seeing you there. I know you're going to do good. And Dugan Kelly, he's the man.